Oh my god.
Give it up one more time for John Cicelli. Woo woo! Thank you, John. That was kind of mind-blowing. And very right on time. Thank you, John. I am indigenous original resistance. I'm gonna need assistance if I'ma make a difference. Used to be restless, now I am relentless. I teach my children who to trust and how to listen. Not Gobert. What to say on Columbus Day? Say nothing. Listen. Listen to the cars going by all around us, on a land that once was green and is now almost all cement. Listen to the footsteps of people going by. Where are they going? What are they doing, and for who? Who owns their walk, their work, their love? Listen to the sirens crying their sad and fearsome song. Listen to the silence of birds no longer singing. Listen to the rebel cry of the birds that remain, saying, "We are still here." Listen to the testimonies of the voiceless, saying, "Yes, we are still here." Listen. Listen to the wind whispering forgotten stories. Listen to the ancestral ghost cries of Tainos in the mountains of Puerto Rico. Listen to the Spanish language spoken on buses, on the streets, in Rogers Park, in the taquerias, in Pilsen, in the schools, in Humboldt Park, at the playground, in courts, and by interpreters in immigration trials, the language of the oppressor, which has now become that of the oppressed. Escucha. Listen to the words Indian and indigenous, which we have used to mean Native American for over 500 years because Columbus mistakenly thought he had landed in India. Listen to Columbus's own words about the people who greeted him. They brought us parrots and balls of cotton and spears and many other things, which they exchanged for the glass beads and hawk's bells. They willingly traded everything they owned. They were well built, with good bodies and handsome features. They do not bear arms, and do not know them, for I showed them a sword, and they took it by the edge and cut themselves out of ignorance. They have no iron. Their spears are made of cane. They would make fine servants. With 50 men we could subjugate them all and make them do whatever we want. Listen to Puerto Rican poet Jack Aguero speaking from the perspective of the natives. The Caribbean was quiet, tranquil as ourselves, but these men were all more hellish than any hurricane. And nothing good came after. Government after government, English, Dutch, Spanish, Yankee, twisting the tongue, jail some, buy some, scare some, dope some, kill plenty. Do you know the names of the ones in jail, or why? Do you sailed in our bays and put paper feet on our throats, paper hands in our pockets, papered the trees and land, papered our eyes, and we still wait wondering when. As for the names of the incarcerated, you and me. Charge, not throwing tea in the bay. Listen to the television talk about the Tea Party, a government shutdown, a state that cannot pay its debt, politicians bickering while millions suffer. Listen to the news, what is said and what is not said, who they talk about and how they talk about them. Listen to the stories they tell about brown-skinned people. You'll notice they are almost always talked about as criminals or victims of natural disasters. Listen, if a people don't exist unless they are in jail or dead, when do they live? Listen to Subcomandante Marcos, revolutionary leader of the Mexican indigenous-led Zapatista movement for people's political autonomy, speak. We are brought together before the tricolored flag where the eagle devours the serpent, united by our common misery, by the collective oblivion into which we were cast 501 years ago, by the useless death we endure, by our being faceless, with our name ripped from us, by our having to bet our lives and deaths for someone else's future. We are united by one common hope before that flag, to change once and for all the ground and sky that today oppress it. To do this, we, the ones without a face and name, who call ourselves the professionals of hope, the most mortal of all, the transgressors of injustice, we who are the mountain, we of the nocturnal walk who have no voice inside the palaces, we the foreigners in our own land, the ones completely dead, history's dispossessed, the ones without a homeland and a tomorrow, the ones with a tender fury, the ones of the unmuffled truth, the ones of the long night of scorn, the true men and women, the smallest of people, the most dignified, the last, the best. We must open again the door to the brother heart so that it can receive our word. Listen to their word. Listen too to the rhetoric of politicians, of governments and powers. Listen to their justifications. Listen to Glenn Morris, member of the Leadership Council of the American Indian Movement of Colorado, speak on the doctrine of discovery. The point about protesting Columbus Day and the holiday is not so much about Columbus, the man, or about parades. We all like parades and holidays. The point is really about the legacy of Columbus. And from the American Indian Movement of Colorado's perspective, and from many indigenous people's perspectives, what's important is the way in which the United States continues to celebrate this legacy of colonialism and imperialism. And that's embodied in federal Indian law. The doctrine of discovery was institutionalized in 1823 in the Supreme Court case of Johnson versus McIntosh, where John Marshall fabricates the doctrine of discovery to justify the diminishment of Indian title to the Americas. Essentially, what Marshall says in Johnson versus McIntosh is that by virtue of the arrival of Christian civilization, the right of native peoples to their traditional homelands and territories is diminished because of the blessings that Christian civilization has brought to the Western Hemisphere. And that opinion is the foundation for federal Indian law in the United States that continues to be enforced day after day after day. Listen to Fool's Crow, holy man of the Oglala Sioux, speak about his people's situation. These wrongs only happened yesterday and are not ancient wrongs. And I wonder where the white man ever got the idea that these wrongs had to be settled in his courts by his rules. Anyone can win a ball game if he makes up his own rules. There can only be one settlement for the Black Hills. The Black Hills must be immediately returned to the rightful owners, the Lakota people. These are bitter words, though, and I am not a bitter or a complaining person. I don't like to be like this, but the situation on our reservations has become almost unbearable today. My people would like to just live our traditional life, but it is so hard to do this with things the way they have been and are now. What else can I do but speak out? I know that statistics do not move people, only involvement does. But a few government figures might help people understand what I am saying. A recent investigation by the Senate Permanent Investigation Subcommittee revealed such things as this. The death rate for Indians is 40 times higher than it is for any other group in America. The best government-built houses, which the Sioux must buy if they want one, are the cheapest plywood, and have no insulation to keep away heat or sub-zero temperatures. Indians suffer 60 times more dysentery, 30 times more strep throats, 11 times more hepatitis, and 10 times more tuberculosis than any other Americans. Listen to a baby crying from malnourishment. Hear how it sounds the same in the Pine Ridge Reservation as it does on the south side of Chicago, in the ghettos of San Juan, in the favelas of Rio, in a refugee camp in Tanzania, in an Aboriginal village in Australia. Listen to the cries of an Awa mother in Brazil whose son was shot dead just for being indigenous. Listen to the chants of Guarani activists protesting the theft of their land by industrial ranchers. Listen to the same history of lies, theft, and murder repeated again and again, everywhere. Listen to the stories of an Oglala father who has watched the whites steal more and more of his people's land, corner his people into smaller and smaller confinements as the reservation shrinks 3 times because the Americans continually break their word, who has had his people's oldest and most sacred rituals outlawed as barbarity, who has been given an English name that insults the poetry of the Lakota language, who has been ordered to change the style of his hair and dress, and worst of all, has watched his children leave on an Indian service bus to attend a church boarding school where they are taught that their ancestors' ways and beliefs are savage and wrong, where they are ordered to accept the religion of the people who murdered their forefathers as the true one. Listen to the stories of those children. Listen to the poetry of dark-skinned children descended from slaves still held captive, crying out for someone to listen. Listen to the school bells that are used to herd our children like cattle. Listen to the countless stories of black-skinned boys harassed, arrested, or killed just for being black. Listen to the knot in your stomach that forms as you listen to this. Listen to the heart that weeps with shame and dignity. Listen to the tree roots growing under the pavement. Listen to the lake crashing on the shore as it always has, despite the weight of countless chemicals dumped into it daily. Listen to it as it listens to us. Listen. Listen to every voice and every silence. Listen to our conversation at the open mic. Listen for the differences in our stories, and listen for the similarities. Listen with courage. Listen with love. Listen. Listen until your heart is heavy and your eyes are wet. Until you want to shout or punch something or move. Listen until you feel your heart has merged with the earth's collective heart. Then, and only then, when the truth stirs in your chest and pounds against the inside of your throat, speak. And may the voice of the earth and all its people speak through you. Thank you. Alright, I'm gonna kind of abuse the time and play a song for y'all. I'm just gonna do it because I know I'm already going over time. Alright. Thank you so much for holding space, for listening, and for speaking, everyone who's come before me on the open mic. Alright, so I'm gonna play Buffalo Soldier to kind of catch us after the intensity of that last piece. I wanted to play something joyful, but actually I like this piece because while the melody is joyful, the words are of course very intense and talk about this history and legacy of slavery. And I like songs that do that because I think it's important to hold both of those at once, right? Understanding the problems and the injustices and feeling that, while at the same time not losing that connection with our humanity and love for life that is the fuel for resistance. So I like happy songs about sad things, I guess. And okay, personal testimony, confession, I didn't know what this song was about until today. I was practicing it all week for this open mic, and then finally today I was like, oh yeah, I meant to like look up why it's called Buffalo Soldier, like what does that mean? And okay, I feel like so ignorant, but I don't know, maybe some of y'all didn't know this either. Buffalo Soldier is a term for African American soldiers in the US Army who fought like in the Civil War and in other wars, and to me that adds so much depth and meaning to the song, right? To think about one people totally displaced, ultimate displacement. You know, you get off the boat, you're kidnapped from your homeland, you get off the boat, and your name, your language, everything that makes you human, your status as a human is completely erased in the society you're put in. And for those people enslaved by the white man to then fight in the white man's war against the Native Americans, even though the white man is really their common enemy. You know, it's like incredibly foul. But anyway, holding space for that, you know, and again what I said about like understanding that and allowing ourselves to feel that love so that we can use it to push forward and show solidarity and act as allies. I invite you all to sing with me Buffalo Soldier. Buffalo soldier, dreadlock Rasta. There was a buffalo soldier in the heart of America. stolen from Africa, brought to America, fighting on arrival, fighting for survival. I mean it when I analyze the stench. To me it makes a lot of sense how the dreadlock Rasta was the buffalo soldier, and he was taken from Africa, brought to America, fighting on arrival, fighting for survival. Buffalo soldier, dreadlock Rasta. There was a buffalo soldier in the heart of America. And if you know your history, then you will know where you are coming from. Then you wouldn't have to ask me, who the heck do I think I am? I'm just a buffalo soldier in the heart of America, stolen from Africa, brought to America, fighting on arrival, fighting for survival. That's a buffalo soldier in the war for America, singing oi oi oi, oi 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 oi, oi 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 oi, oi oi oi, oi oi oi, oi 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 oi. Buffalo soldier trod into the land, said you wanna run, and then you take a stand. Trod into the land, said he was a buffalo soldier in the war for America. Buffalo soldier, a dreadlock Rasta, said he was fighting on arrival, fighting for survival, driven from the mainland into the heart of the Caribbean, and singing oi oi oi, oi 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 oi, oi 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 oi, oi oi oi, oi oi oi, oi 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 oi. Trotting through San Juan in the arms of America, trotting through Jamaica, a buffalo soldier said he was fighting on arrival, fighting for survival. A buffalo soldier, dreadlock Rasta, singing oi oi oi, oi 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 oi, oi 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 oi, oi oi oi, oi oi oi, oi 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 oi, singing oi oi oi, oi oi oi, oi 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 oi, oi oi oi, oi 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 oi. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for jamming along there. Nice job with the drums. Alright. Alright. And that's all for me. Now I'm going to get out of your hair, but thank you so much for holding space. Just a reminder, I'll say the things I have to say. Donate if you feel moved, you know, if you can, throw some change in the bowl. That helps us keep this thing going, make it bigger and better. We're working on getting a better sound system right now. Check us out on Facebook, you know, like us and whatnot. And also, we have a Twitter, @RoyalSouls. We don't use it a lot right now, but we will eventually, I think. So follow us and whatever. Okay, also, most importantly, we need help. The biggest thing is probably hosting. Right now we're doing pretty good, but you know, we want this to be a permanent fixture in the community, and it's a totally grassroots thing. This is just people doing it out of love and volunteer. So if you want to host, just all you have to do is ask, and you know, show up, and you can host, and that would really help us out on the days when me, Jed, and Mikhailo can't make it. So the next up is our dear friend Jed Lickerman. Woo! Give it up. He's gonna take over the next part of the hosting also.